Hey everybody, it's Sophie and
Marco.
Dish out on the movies. But today we're on episode 6 of Better Call Saul, called Piñata. As usual, this episode 6 called Piñata of Better Call Saul starts out with a scene from another era. This time, the recent past. We're back at Chuck and Howard's law firm and see Jimmy going from cubicle to cubicle collecting mail and people's guesses at the latest office Oscar pool. Will Al Pacino win this year, or will it be somebody else? Kim comes by with her cart of law papers and books. With the help of the firm, she is working her way through law school. He obviously likes her. Their conversation is interrupted by the opening of a door where you can hear laughter and, "Congratulations, Chuck!" Kim explains to Jimmy that Chuck found some obscure legal loophole in a major case, thereby winning it for the law firm. Chuck emerges and patronizes Jimmy as he greets him. Kim is googly-eyed, impressed with Chuck as she introduces herself to him and even asks a question about his recent legal win. He says his goodbyes and joins Howard for some meeting. Jimmy sees how excited and impressed Kim is with Chuck and his legal victory and seems unhappy. She has to go and they part ways so each can do their jobs. At the end of the scene, Jimmy opens up the door to the firm's law library. Seeing that nobody is around, he goes in, letting the door shut behind him. The implication is either 1, he's been working on his law degree in secret all this time, and that's what he's going to do now.
If he had been working on it, then why would he not know about the stuff that they're talking about at all?
Well, I thought he was just pretending not to know
No.
because he hates Chuck.
No.
Or 2, he begins the process now to impress Kim, who he just now noticed seems to love the law,
Which that sucks.
and how much admiration she just bestowed on Chuck the jerk for his very recent legal victory. I believe in the former, but Marco believes the latter. The question is, though, the main one, what was Jimmy's motivation for becoming a lawyer? His desire to get closer to Kim? Or get similar accolades like his brother? Or both? Or something else? What do you people think? Now, does this mean the rest of the episode follows the Kim-Jimmy storyline in today's world? Yeah, for the next 2 scenes, but not the rest of the episode. In fact, I will be bold enough to say it is the beginning of the disintegration of the relationship. And by the way, Kim asked Jimmy if he's made an appointment with the therapist. And when he answers no, she doesn't seem happy. However, she manages to hide it fairly well. The problem I have with her insistence that he see a therapist is that she needs counseling too, because what she does next is somewhat inexplicable, and she lies about it too. The rest of the episode shifts back and forth amongst the people there, Mike, Gus, Jimmy, and Kim, in 8 different vignettes, ending with the 9th vignette, the best part of the show, featuring a lot of piñatas filled with real candy. Listen to the spoilers for more info. Okay, Marco, take it away.
This season sucks. This episode sucks. Kim sucks. That's what I came to realize, because you remember episode 1, I wasn't very happy about it. I thought it was a good episode. I just thought it was a little slow. But it really turns out that episodes 1 and 2 are really the only episodes that feel like actual episodes. And all these other episodes, they just feel like they're all filler, or as I should say, setup episodes. Because you have shows like The Blacklist, they have like over 20 episodes, and a lot of the earlier episodes, they're setting up stuff to happen in the later episodes. And in this show, it's like the exact same thing, but they don't have that long to go. They have 4 more episodes, so nothing's paying off yet. We're not getting any reward for the the story that's set up.
Well, it's like
And
background information. We're
yeah,
being fed background information
it's
on all
not
the
good,
characters.
not good at all. And I was being very nice every single episode. I thought, maybe next episode we're gonna go somewhere. Maybe next episode we're gonna go get somewhere, and it's just not happening.
Well, it's like I said, I'm calling. What I do is I take notes on something that I watch. And like for something else, you take notes and it's a continuation of the storyline that goes all the way through the episode. But this one, it shifts. Like it's almost like somebody's cutting up a cutting up a pizza
Yeah,
or a cake. Each part is separate from the other, and the only two, like I said, were the beginning with Jimmy and Kim, which was like the first two or to three or two whatever parts. But the rest, you go from Mike to Gus, and you go to Mike, and then you go to Jimmy, and then you go
let's
to
go back.
Howard.
Let's go back to season 1. Jimmy was working as a lawyer, and every time he had to go to the court, he had to uh, give Mike some stickers or something like that.
That's his parking sticker.
And then, he has his brother. He would visit his brother. Then he would go to HHM and kiss Kim in the parking lot while they smoke. And then he would go upstairs and talk to Howard. And then he would have some dealings with Nacho outside of everything.
Right.
And, you can see it. Everything's connected.
Right, like an episode.
In season 1, 2, and 3. In this season, there's nothing that's connected. And if they're doing that on purpose, then they're doing like what Brian Fuller did with Hannibal season 3. They're sabotaging themselves. Because it doesn't matter like how good the stuff is. It matters how it all connects and where we're going. Where are we going? What are we getting to? I know that there's going to be a new villain, but
Tell them how you know that. Tell
because
them what you did. You don't have to tell them what you read. Just tell them what you did.
because you can go on IMDb. Number one, they have all the episode titles, and they have all the summaries, and they have one picture for each episode that hasn't come out yet. So, yeah, there's a new villain.
So he's already looked up to what they're all about.
Yeah, and not a very good look.
And well, it's hard to say, but like I said, I mean, when I take notes, I put down what a section is. Okay, this is section 1, and then I put number 2. Here's another section 3. So like for here, I have a total of I don't know 8. Oh wait, I said that 9. I think I have 9 parts. And then there was one episode where there was, like in the teens, like 16 or something like that. And then,
I thought that we were supposed to like Kim.
Well, that's what Kim was likable, but this
Not
scene,
anymore.
This is a bad thing.
This whole entire episode.
It's very bad.
Because the first scene, they basically throw away Jimmy's love for the law, and they say that, oh, he's just a lawyer because he wants to have sex with Kim. That's why he wants to be a lawyer.
Well, I see now. This is where I'm not sure I agree, but we are agreeing to disagree.
That's
So
sick.
whatever.
I think that's absolutely sick. I think it's a horrible
I just
uh,
don't believe that.
character assassination on Jimmy. Maybe it's some sort of a feminist thing that they're trying to do
No, I don't.
by
No, I don't think so.
by making him her lapdog. Because then
No.
later in this episode, she completely uh, destroys his entire plans for the future.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to the spoiler because to me,
I don't really care, honestly.
this is really the most important thing of the whole their relationship, which is really hilarious. But it's really the most. I think it's the most important, significant thing of the whole episode.
She's a traitor. She's a Chuck wannabe.
Yeah, she wants to be like Chuck, which I don't understand because she put him down.
She's a
She
hypocrite.
didn't like him. Well, let's not say anything else.
She's almost even been like the silent villain the entire show.
She is actually. I mean, here you are. They're building a meth lab, which kills people, gets people addicted. Horrible thing. Okay, they killed Nacho's friend or whatever you want to call him, partner in crime, by putting a bag over his head and suffocating him to death.
That was cool too.
They beat up last episode. They beat the heck out of Jimmy, and I think they actually knocked him out.
Yeah.
And he woke because it looked like he woke up and he was on the ground.
Yeah.
And they stole all his money. I mean, those are ugly, horrible things. And Chuck also committed suicide, which I don't.
And he did that on purpose.
I don't think of it as that.
He did that as strategic.
He was crazy, and he flipped over the lamp, and died. He burned up in a fire. I mean, all that is horribly ugly and awful.
None of it pales in comparison.
It pales in comparison because
Kim.
To Kim, what
her behavior.
What she has done. I mean, you look at the face of it. You watch the episode and you go, "Oh wow, look what she did." But then, if you really think about it, it's a lot worse than what you first think. It really is. It's really devastating. I can't believe it.
It's sickening.
So anyway,
because a lot of people they theorize, they're like, Kim and Jimmy have this perfect relationship, and at one point, it's just not going to work out, and they're going to drift apart. And really, it's not like that. It's like Jimmy. I don't see what you just showed me at all.
Coda Mundi.
Okay, I don't care about that. It's like it's not even a relationship. It's Jimmy loves her, and he became a lawyer to impress her, and she's just this bland and evil career woman who just wants to screw him over for her stupid career. For very selfish reasons too, and it has nothing to do with her gender. It's because of her selfish reasons.
I don't know.
And her actions.
Well, we're supposed to talk about this as spoilers, but it isn't just her selfish reasons. I don't think she knows what she wants.
Yeah.
It's just like she's.
And that's really not fair that she's putting him through hell so that she can.
But she's messed up. And that's what we said. What we both
excuse.
said. And here she is trying to tell him to go get counseling when she needs to go get some counseling herself. Even that judge told her to, or he told her. He told her she's messed up.
And she was acting bad in his court too. After they had that talk, she still stayed there and watched.
And he was like, "I can't believe she's doing that." He let it pass, but he could have gotten really mad about it.
Yeah. Which, when you're first watching that episode, you're like, she's going through something, but she's not a bad person. And in this episode, her character is now evil. Pure evil.
Okay, well, let's talk about...
I have nothing good to say about her at all anymore.
Well, we have to move on. Okay, well, let's talk about what is Mike doing this episode. There was one thing that you read what other people thought, and you might have agreed with it. First of all, he's been tasked with getting the, they're going to be digging this underground meth lab.
Get in the living facility.
Yeah.
Up to par.
Well, because
for the German construction crew.
And because they're going to be there, and they're going to be bored, they're going to need to be fed. They're going to want to have some. They're German, so maybe they want to have beer and wine or whatever. So they've got to set up. So he's in charge of. He makes a list, goes over with Gus about what they need.
He makes a list, checks it twice.
And they actually come back to the place, and everything's all set up, and it's amazing. And then the German crew arrives. So that's all like front and back, a whole, centered thing.
I just want to say, in general about this episode, it's terrible, and it's very disjointed, and the editing's terrible. It's slow. There's practically nothing good to say about it.
Okay, well, what the other thing that I was going to say that Mike does, which is really going to sound totally boring on the outset, and maybe somebody just made up the thing that I'm thinking of to put life into this part of the episode, but he goes and sees his daughter-in-law, and if you last remember, he and she go to this grief support group.
They know what happens.
And you know what happens.
They know what happens.
Calls out this guy. Anyway, when he did that, he kind of upset everybody, even though I think they believed him, because he's a cop. I mean, he recognizes lies in 2 seconds. And she said something like, "Oh, well, you're making it really bad. You made it really bad on me." And
he's her lapdog too.
And he the thing is, though, she wouldn't let him in the house. He went up and knocked on the door, and she said, "Well, I've got to go and get my, their daughter. I can't remember their name, but I've got to go get her in a few minutes." So I can see, I guess, why she wouldn't let him in. But what did you hear, Marco?
Some weird people on YouTube, they were commenting, oh, maybe she's sleeping with somebody, so that's why she won't let him in the house.
And he would not be happy, because he's still not. He remembered that she had, at that grief support group, she had said that she didn't think about her dead husband at all that day, and that really, he about blew a gasket, because he thinks about him. So she should too, I guess. I don't know.
No, she thought about him the rest of the day. She just didn't think about him in the morning.
Well, okay. Well, whatever. It made him mad. You could tell which was really good acting on his part. He didn't say anything. He just showed it in his face. So.
And maybe that'll lead. Maybe that's something that he has to go through. He has to kind of get over his son's death. Because in Breaking Bad, he doesn't really mention his son at all, and he doesn't seem to be that sad, kind of, like in this show.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if by Breaking Bad, which is supposed to be in like 4 years from now, he gets over it.
Okay, well, I guess another thing that people talked about a lot, it was a very quiet scene. What happens is, when they bring the German crew in, and I can't think of his name, the tall African-American guy who's Gus's right-hand man, he comes in, he says he's got an infection. And so Gus leaves, and you think, oh my God, who are they talking about? And I thought they could be talking about Nacho, because he is in horrible shape. And he didn't really get that good caring. I don't think that guy was that good. And then, or it could be Hector, because Hector's in the hospital. He's in a coma. And when you're in a coma, you're on the bed all the time. You got to be
And
turned.
Gus goes and visits Hector
And it's Hector.
and tells him a story about how
Codamundi.
he found an animal that got injured really bad. He trapped an animal, and instead of killing the animal, he kept it
Let it starve to death.
And let it suffer to death.
Well, the story was he's really poor, and there's this plant that
they've already heard it.
Well, I know. What was the fruit though? I didn't hear that.
I don't know. I couldn't understand.
I couldn't understand it either. But anyway, I looked it up, and it's called a cotamundi, and it's an animal that it's actually part of the raccoon family, and it looks a little like a raccoon.
Anyway, so that's what he wants happen to Hector.
Yeah. He says, the doctor says you may not pull through the night, or you just may not pull through at all, but I don't think so. I think, and I'll be around to see it, or something like that.
And what's funny is that, remember, the nurse said that, the doctor. The doctor said that if they talk a lot to Hector, then it helps his brain get better. And so
Gus is doing something. If he wanted to get better, that was not the thing to do. Because
so he, by talking and telling him this whole story, it's almost like he's giving him a power boost.
Yeah.
Because in the sneak peek for next episode, what do you know? He's awake.
Yeah.
Spoiler
but he's
alert.
not talking.
So isn't that hilarious?
It is. It was very quiet and it was very dark. That was if you wanted to characterize the episode.
And the reason why I don't know if I said it on that Gus would beat him with a baseball bat is because in the promo for the episode they played a clip of Gus walking up to Hector in his bed, and they also played the sound of the baseball bat across the floor from another scene. And they played that audio over this video, so to deceive you. So just want to let you know.
But see, since we've all watched Breaking Bad, we know that never happened.
Well, I think it might have it could have been really insane because it's a hospital. There's all these people around. I don't know how he'd accomplish that without getting caught. So. Anyways, what would you rate the episode? I would give it a D-. It's very close to an F.
Okay, well.
I'm sick of being nice.
I'm get my glasses out. I did not rate it that way. All right. Well, I gave it a C or a 3 out of 5. But I can't talk about the reason why that I didn't give it a really bad review because we haven't done the spoilers yet. I just do want to say that what happened with Kim, which we have not talked about either, it left me feeling a little bit bleak. And the reason why I'm giving it a C, and I'll tell you why after we do the spoilers about why I'm not giving it an F, but still it's not the greatest rating, was because the episodes aren't very cohesive. And like I said, they're filmed more like vignettes.
And
I don't think they mean to do that. I really don't.
The character choices aren't consistent either.
They're very separate scenes. I told you when I take notes. Even the way I take notes, each scene I have them numbered.
So it's a D- and a C plus. Did you say a C plus?
No, this is just a C.
Okay, it's a C and a D-. And my reason for giving it a D- is because there's nothing that happens besides Kim is an evil Chuck, female version of Chuck, and all the rest is filler. So.
Okay,
And that's what every episode's been now. And I'm sick of it this season.
Well, I think we should do the spoilers
Yeah,
now.
let's do
'Cause
spoilers.
That's the only way I can explain my
Let's talk
ranking.
about Kim. In the beginning of the episode, Kim sees a notepad with Wexler McGill WM
It's
logo
Jimmy's.
design.
It's like a doodle thing he's been working on.
And you'd think like she'd appreciate that, she'd think that it's cute, but she just looks at it and she's like, ugh.
Well, she doesn't make any. You don't know. You don't notice anything. I didn't see any reaction. There just was no reaction. Nothing positive or bad or anything.
Thought it's a little bad because, you know, you'd think that she would think that that's like cute or something like that, but she doesn't. It's like she's different or something, and she's acting weird.
Okay, so what does she do? Well, she approaches Jimmy in the bathroom and says, "Well, how's work? Oh, it's great." And he says, "That's really slow." And she says, "Well, if it's so slow, why don't you go make an appointment with that therapist that I gave you the name?" And she said, and he's like, "Well, I don't think I really need that counseling.
That's not for me.
I don't need that."
And she's like,
she's not very happy, but she's not mad about it.
Yeah, she was.
Well, she doesn't.
She was hiding it. She
hid it.
It was like passive aggressive.
So what does she do? What do you think she does? She calls that guy that I don't know. It's Schweikert. He has a beard and curly hair.
The bad guy.
Because
you remember in season 1, Jimmy discovers that the nursing home, I can't remember the name of, Sandy Shores, maybe I think is what it's called. He discovers all the evil stuff going on. And
they're ripping the people off who live there.
Yeah, and it turns out that Schweikert is their lawyer, and his firm is going to fight against HHM in the case. And now Kim approaches Schweikert and suggests to him that she should lead a banking division in his law firm after she sees the stuff on the notepad, and she suggests that to him, and he says, "Yeah, great, that'd be really cool." So now she's working for the bad guys.
Well, the thing is, after that, she calls Jimmy, asks him to come to this real nice restaurant, and then tells him that the guy called her.
Yeah.
That was a lie.
Yeah.
And the deal is that, she has that huge case of Mesa Verde that she's supposed to be working on, and they told her that was supposed to be the only thing she was working on. And so they will have lawyers there that can help her with it. And then she can, and also they will let her in as a partner, which is really something else. That's something really big. And plus, she can do the pro bono work, which is helping all these poor people get through their cases. She can do all the pro bono work that she wants to. So she looks like an opportunist. That she's going to be a partner. She's going to be the head of the banking division. She still keeps Mesa Verde, which Jimmy got in trouble for, and that's why got it for her. That's why he's suspended.
Yeah.
And so,
isn't that great?
And she gets to do pro bono work, which that's what she really cares about. And none of it. It's all like it's a mess because it doesn't go together. And to me, and then I really thought about it, and she reminded me of Chuck.
Yeah.
And she reminds Marco of Chuck too.
Because she sabotaged him. It's exactly like Chuck in season 1, 2, and 3. Or I mean seasons 1 and 2, I guess, where Chuck would see Jimmy wants to do something. Oh God, excuse me. And then he would sabotage him, and he would just be like, he would try to not blame it on himself. He would make excuses, and Jimmy would just suffer, and that's exactly what happens. she sabotages him.
Well, she turned into Chuck, but she still she wants all this stuff, but she wants to do pro bono work all the time, which, according to
because she can't handle this stuff, this banking stuff.
what I've read or seen or heard is that lawyers might maybe take a couple of pro bono cases a year, maybe, because they have so much work of their own to do, where they make the money, the work that they do that makes them money. I'm not saying it's a bad thing; it's a good thing that they can do it, but that's all she really wants to do. But she has to have an income, and so she gets to be a partner. But I mean, it's just horrible. And here she is getting mad at him for not going to get counseling. But I think she's messed up. She doesn't know what she wants.
She's really selfish, too.
So Marco's really mad at her, and I'm just stupefied and in horror. I mean, here we have all this stuff, meth and death and people getting suffocated.
She's worse than all of it.
That's horrible. She was a good character.
Yeah, she was a very good character.
Everybody liked her because she gave him so much support, and at least it seemed like she accepted him for the way he was.
You know what? It's actually really cool because this changes the entire precedent that the series set, and this makes it so you can see that it was really him who was supporting her the whole time. Remember? He was the one who helped her get the Mesa Verde case in the first place.
I know.
He was the one who suggested to her that they should open up their own law firm together and do all that stuff. He was the one who was actually supporting her, and she was just kind of using him to get further in her stupid career.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know, because it doesn't seem that way. It seems like she's just screwed up and doesn't know what she wants, but Marco could be right.
And it's going to get worse, too, believe me.
Well, whatever.
It's turning into a soap opera.
But we have to talk about the very last spoiler.
Yeah, the Piñata. So
why is this episode called Piñata?
Because of the three teenagers Safi wanted him to get revenge on.
Now Marco said, "Oh, that would never happen. He's never going to get revenge on those boys who beat the heck out of him and stole all of his money."
Well,
I thought he might want to get back at them.
Well, I thought that this show had better priorities than resolving a tiny little storyline that doesn't matter at all.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I thought that we were going to get more important types of stories being told and bigger developments than just he gets revenge on the three kids who beat him up last episode.
Well, let's just say what happens. He gets, he is still renting a little room at that Mrs. Nguyen's nail spa. And so he goes there and stands out in front. This huge truck comes and brings a boatload of cell phones. And he's going to sell them. Anyway, he goes out that night and he sees the boys and he says, "You know, boys, I'll let you have $300 every night. If you just leave me alone, I'll go sell people these phones." And because I want to be known for that and get a lot of business. And they say, "Okay," and then they say no, and they get a knife out and they start threatening him, and he runs to this, and we think, oh my God.
Sophie thinks that he had to use a stunt double.
I think he might have used a stunt double. I don't know that part, because, anyway, for sure. But anyway, he runs to this place where it's like all fenced in, and the boys think, oh wow, we've got him under a barrel. But these two guys, a real big guy and another guy, they've got black hoods on, and they're both carrying baseball bats. And they get those boys, and they take them into a piñata factory, and they hang them up by their feet, and they start hitting on the piñatas. And he said, "Well, boys, you could have accepted this offer. You would have gotten $300 every night. You wouldn't have to do anything for it, and it's your fault that you ended up like this." And they're having a cow, and and they finally, he says, are you going to leave me alone and tell other people don't bother me? Just leave me the heck alone. And they agree, and I guess they just left him hanging up. And they left him.
Mm-hmm.
But I want everybody to look at on YouTube.
The behind the scenes video.
Yeah, it's just really good. They all the candy that was in the piñatas, and you're talking about a lot of piñatas. They had to have somebody make all those, and all that candy. They went all over Albuquerque and bought out all the stores and bought all their candy, and they're all filled with real candy. And anyway, it's interesting. One of the boys has a camera on his body, so it like a GoPro.
Stop spoiling the behind the scenes
Well,
video.
it's really cool. You should watch it. It's really interesting.
So you really like this scene.
That was my favorite. It was the last scene of the episode.
I thought
right?
it was fine. It didn't impress me at all because the rest of the episode was garbage.
Well, I liked it because he got revenge. Because I thought it was horrible that they beat him up and they took all his money, and
I didn't think it was good enough revenge.
And that Marco thinks I don't even want. He thought they should have been a lot more violent. I don't like.
Well, they were violent to him.
I know. Well, this would have been a lot worse, and there would have been a lot more blood. But I don't care for like that violence. I know it's real and it happens, but I don't care to watch it. So anyway, I thought it was great, and there were boys too. So even though they were bad boys.
So what? He's a boy too, and look what they did to him.
Yeah, I thought they deserved their comeuppance. And anyway, we have to give the spoiler for the two men who played the guys in the hoods, because they kept their hoods on the whole time.
One of them is Huel from Breaking Bad.
He's lost weight.
He's lost a lot of weight.
I
you
think
can
he
tell,
had to,
especially in his face.
Yeah.
And the other guy was the big guy from season 1 who ran away after Mike disarmed the other guy when they were getting
They were trying to get hired by the comic book guy.
not the
That's what I call him.
the baseball card guy.
Oh, no, yeah, you're right. Baseball cards. Sorry. We have both in the house, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
He was the big guy that ran away. It was
He's
really funny
big.
because he just ran away.
He's like about 6'8" or something, and he's huge. So, anyway. Well, Marco, that's why I gave my episode a C or 3 out of 5, because of this last part, the way the episode ended. I was really happy that he got his revenge. I thought it was really clever. And then when I saw the behind the scenes part 2, it really helped. They actually last week, if you want to see if you can find it, they had a behind the scenes
All
video.
the behind the scenes are good.
Yeah, they really are. When they shot all the drug people, I call them the Mexican Terminators, and they talked.
That wasn't last week.
Wasn't
that
it
was
last
a couple of weeks ago.
Well, they have a behind the scenes video for that, and that is really good. And what's really great is those two Mexican guys, I call them the Mexican Terminators, they talk. And you're not going to believe when they talk, you won't believe how they sound. Nothing like you'd expect them to sound. So.
Anyways, this episode was a huge disappointment. And, you know, we also said that as long as the season keeps going like this, the ratings are going to get worse. They're not going to get better unless the show gets better. Because, honestly, this season has been a huge disappointment, especially after this season was delayed. Remember, it was supposed to come out like months and months ago?
Why didn't it?
I don't know. They delayed it, and I don't see any reason why, any good reason why, because this season's kind of bad, terrible. A lot of we didn't even talk about the Howard scene, the disappointment flake teaser scene where, you know, that was a hugely disappointing scene.
Yeah,
and terrible.
it's supposed to be a scene that explains why Howard is screwed up.
Not really.
Kind of. Why he, at least partially.
It was such a short scene.
It was very short, actually. That's why
and
I didn't
completely
mention it.
pointless.
It's the only time he's in it, I believe, in the episode. So it's another one of those scenes where he makes a cameo appearance, really, and but it said a lot, and well, it didn't say enough according to Marco.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we better wrap it up.
Yeah.
So
Bye, everybody. We hope next week is an improvement.
I'm still working on those book reviews. So of mystery book series that I've been reading. In fact, I'm reading the last one of the Irish County Cork mystery series. So
Okay.
we'll be back. We'll see you
Bye,
soon.
everybody.
Bye.